Welcome to Process News Now. I'm your host, Don Horn, and this is your process industry news. Our top story, bottled water companies are taking steps to make single-use plastic packaging a thing of the past. Next, the new round of hearings designed to allow First Nations people to voice their concerns over the Trans Mountain Pipeline are being dismissed as window dressing by BC's Aboriginal peoples. And finally, Maple Leaf Foods is among 50 major global businesses asking government leaders to step up the fight against climate change. It takes 2.5 liters of water to make 1 liter of bottled water, something the bottled water companies are looking to change to address consumer concerns over the pollution problems associated with single-use plastics. The use of plastic bottles and the resulting impact on the environment is having companies rethink their packaging options, given the toxic chemicals leaching into the soil from landfills and the floating islands of plastic that can be found in the world's oceans. Companies like Evian and Highland Spring are launching eco-bottles that are 100% recyclable, while other companies like Nestle are aiming to achieve 100% recycling or reuse of their packaging by 2025. With oral testimony having already wrapped up for the BC's First Nations peoples, those same Aboriginal groups are slamming the sessions as not being in good faith, saying the fix is in to go ahead with the Trans Mountain Pipeline. Many participants in the second round of hearings were not shy in telling the National Energy Board panel that they had little faith in the process, fearing it was headed for a predetermined outcome. Complaints about the process have plagued the hearings, which were held following an appeals court ruling that Ottawa had initially not properly consulted or acted upon First Nations concerns over the Trans Mountain Pipeline project, or the potential environmental hazard it posed, with new supertankers coming to the BC coast to fill up on Alberta heavy crude. Many First Nations peoples are asking why none of the hearings were held in Vancouver, and the difficulty in expressing their spiritual and cultural connections to the ocean in the 2-hour time limit. For Elder Paula Giroux of the Driftpile Cree Nation, who spoke at a panel session in Calgary, she felt the hearings were more like Ottawa ticking off that little box that showed they consulted with the First Nations peoples, with her people's concerns being relegated to the shelf to collect dust. The head of Maple Leaf Foods, Michael McCain, is one of 50 business leaders who are part of the World Economic Forum's Alliance of Climate Action CEOs, a group that is using their positions of power to encourage governments and industry to meet the Paris Climate Agreement goals. Some 30 companies have signed a letter pledging a reduction in emissions that is equal to 47 million metric tons of carbon pollution. For Maple Leaf Foods, it has reduced its greenhouse gas emissions intensity by 18% since 2014. The group of CEOs is also calling for greater public-private cooperation to put into place effective carbon pricing mechanisms and policies to encourage low-carbon investment. This is Annex Business Media's Niche TV. I'm Don Horn. See you next time.